Rainer Prohaska here from Vienna with us. Good morning, Vienna. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Do you read me?
Yeah, everything is fine. We also have Kati and Niklas connecting from Berlin.
Hello, hello.
Hello. As you see, all the artists are in their studios at this morning hours. We also have Magdalena Kreis joining in from Wrocław. She's actually 15 minutes walk from my place. So Magdalena Kreis, she's here. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Yeah, so Kanoko made already, as I guess, a brief introduction of you in Japanese. Maybe we could make the same step in English also. It belongs to every artist talk that the moderator is introducing the guests. So, of course, we are all here connected to SIAF 2020. Me and Magdalena, we were working on the side of the organizers and program makers. Magda took care of the art mediation program, and I took care of the program of media art within SIAF. And Kati and Niklas and Rainer were the artists with whom we worked for quite some time preparing their projects to be shown at SIAF 2020, which, as you all know, was suddenly stopped. This festival has been stopped. So we went through all these, up and downs in the last months when we were thinking how to solve the situation, what to do, until the moment when we decided to show the archives of this festival that didn't happen. So out there on the internet, there are 2 websites and many other materials that you can reach via these websites, the official website of SIAF and the Matrix site, where you can read about all the projects and ideas that the artists had, which we wanted to carry out in Sapporo. Yeah, but today, actually, the aim of this talk is to bring you all on a little journey to the artist studios. And then we would like to talk a little bit about this special time when the artists have to take their studio with them and to go to some place to work on site. Which might be an easy or a bit more complicated undertaking if you think that you have to pack all your stuff. And behind Kati and Niklas, there is lots of stuff in their studio, and to make a choice and pack the tools and all the utensils and go to Japan for a month to elaborate a prototype of a work there. It might be complicated. But let me introduce the artists briefly. What connects them is, I would say, this kind of very playful DIY approach to working with art and technology. Niklas and Kati, they have their mutual common artist practice, but each of them also works separately at the let's say intersection of this contemporary art and media art. I don't know how. I always have problems with the with the definitions and what is now where media art stops and contemporary art starts. It's always complicated. So let us rather focus on what the artists are doing. So they construct different machines. I would say that those machines often relate closely to a place where for which they were conceived. And those machines always get in some type of interaction with the audience. And Kati and Niklas use for that, let's say, different building blocks, such as typical elements that you can buy in, craft shops. And I think that they really love to visit those construction utensils shops, just as it is the case in in case of Rainer's practice, because Rainer, well, he's really something special, because actually he studied first engineering, so he was a serious engineer, right? First, before you.
I was at school for that, but I never practiced really because it was too boring. We come back to this later.
Yeah, so he started out as an engineer, as you see or here, and it was quite serious and boring. So Rainer decided then to study art and to use also the field of, let's say, the serious engineering as a field of references for his work. So he is also a constructor of ephemeric objects and installations. He also uses typical materials that you can buy in shops. When you want to build something, then you need those again building blocks, and he creates something that he calls toolkit architecture. So let's say there is a tool, there is a kit of tools to create ephemeric architectures in different places. And often Rainer relates in his works to, let's say, very serious issues such as resources, sustainability, and all the issues that are connected with the way we use energy and we produce energy. And obviously it's you need electricity to produce media art, I guess. So electricity is a big issue for Rainer. So as you see, both Kati, Niklas, and Rainer, they work with the place, and they work with, let's say, typical materials to create each time artworks, often in form of installations that relate directly to the place. And these are the cases when you have to move your studio and go somewhere. But maybe first we should have a look, Magda, at their studios. What do you think?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one more thing. The thing that also connects all of us here gathered for this talk is the fact that we all visited Sapporo. Maybe it's not that obvious for everyone who's watching us today. I think it's good mentioning that, we've all had a chance to visit Sapporo, and most of us, I don't know how it was in case of Rainer, but because he was there in November, but we all had a chance to experience the wonderful winter time in Sapporo, which is also something that I think strongly influences our memories from that time, and it's also very special in case of the topic and time for the festival that was supposed to also refer to winter time in Sapporo. So that's just one thing for the beginning, but it's a good moment, I think, to pass the mic to maybe firstly Kati and Niklas to their studio in Berlin. If you could shortly say where you are now and how you move your, let's say, studio to other places when you go for the residency or the research tour.
Okay, first of all, hello, good morning. Yeah, we are now here in Berlin. We are actually in a little shop front, and this shop is both. It's our home and it's also our studio where we work. So people on the street can sometimes see us working, and sometimes we have a lot of decoration in the window that you can see us behind.
It used to be fish shop, as far as I remember, right?
Yeah, and you can probably also see in the background here some blue tiles. So there have been like these blue tiles everywhere. Yeah, it was a fish shop. And during the East German times, so you could buy every day here fish with potatoes. And in the shop window, there was a big aquarium with fishes.
Yeah, so that's a quite fascinating place. I visited you a couple of times there. So it's indeed you have your living place in the very center of your studio. You are surrounded, by all the studio facilities. But you can also sit down on a sofa and have a nice talk in this inspirational surroundings.
Yeah, I don't know if we can also take the computer and just walk quickly around. Then you can see everything. Should we?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. Good.
It's fun.
So, can you still hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's perfect.
I will make you a little bit louder because I don't understand. Okay. So this here is the shop window, which is currently closed. Also, the door is closed because it's still early. If we would start outside, if we would open the blinds, everyone would just completely look at us.
Would be nice.
Actually,
so we have more audience then.
Yeah. Another way of streaming. And
here we have a 3D printer.
3D printer, yeah.
Here, this is more for programming, electronics. We can turn on a little bit here, effect lights.
Very nice.
Do we have something on the? No, there happens something.
Special effects.
This is electronics workbench, and here we can drill holes, and we have a lot of materials up here. A lot of
very well organized.
Down there.
Order everywhere.
Some things we bought in Japan.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Very professional. Yeah.
This is like a really nice hand tool also from Japan, Nijisaurus. Yeah, this is our secret door here to our more real private area.
Yeah, it's really written secret door, so we can confirm.
Yeah, we have. If curators are visiting Berlin and have to crash, they can stay on the couch.
I did it. And
then we have a big pile of more materials. We have a cool old pinball table, which became a sofa table. Our pandemic sport studio. Kati, do you want to demonstrate some? Yes. this is for the physical fitness, mental fitness.
Yeah, it's not only art studio, but it's also fitness studio and Airbnb
around studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is This is
sewing machine.
Busy lately. Yeah, I'm totally into sewing at the moment. Yeah.
Nice. So actually, how to pack your studio when you are working on a new project, and how to move to, you know, different location in the world. So is it like easy for you, or
it's all inflatable? We have only an inflatable swing to go to a machine to take the air out. No. I will put back
the microphone.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Now at the end, we have big suitcases, but it is also at the end we don't need all those tools and materials. At the end, we are just going somewhere, and then what's always good to have is a drilling machine, is an electric saw, is a soldering iron, and some measurement device for electricity. And from then on, we can work a little bit with what's there, I would say.
But is it like you need your own tools? Because, for example, there are people who really need to have their own equipment, like private one, to bring to another, you know, place in the world, so they do not use any other, you know, tools they get. But is it like in your case, or you don't really matter what kind of drill will you get, and then you just work and improvise?
We actually do take some of our favorite tools with us, like a certain drilling machine, because we are used to using it, and it's a very nice one. And for Sapporo, we were also researching a little bit beforehand what is there, because we stayed at the Tenjin-Yama Art Studios, and they actually had some tools, and of course there are excellent hardware stores. So basically we make usually a little bit of research what might be available, because a lot of things are very heavy. For Sapporo, we had, I think, 3 suitcases, which included also some more specific electronic parts, because you might also want to spend the time building something rather than spending a lot of time searching for things. And then you're a bit more independent and faster if you can take. So I think we do take.
Yeah, we
do take a couple of suitcases usually with us.
But we also in Sapporo, we also bought a pink electric saw, which was the cheapest saw that we could get. And we left it there. In the art studio.
Okay, thanks for this guided tour. We had a 360 degrees virtual studio experience live from Berlin. How is it over in Vienna? Because Rainer, actually, I was planning in March last year to visit you. We wanted to work for a few days on the project, on the ideas for Sapporo. And then literally pandemic stopped me. I just decided not to go to Vienna, and a few hours later, the borders were closed. So actually, I missed this studio experience in your case. But please show us around and tell us how you work, because I also know that you have your mobile studio. This is what I saw when you came to Wrocław to work on the exhibition. You even slept in your car that was parked next to the entrance of the Wro Art Center. So that was already very intriguing. But tell us how you work every day. How is it like?
Welcome everybody. Good morning. I am sitting in Vienna in the 9th district, which is very close to a small part of the Danube which is going through the city, in the 4th floor. And as you will see soon, my studio is kind of unusual, because I'm a father since 6 years, occasionally, because my girlfriend has 3 kids from an earlier marriage, and also the house I'm living is belonging to this family. And so I'm very lucky, because the real father of our 3 children, he decided to make a nice room for presentation here. And this room is very like very seldom used by the family. So I, of course, sometimes have to change a little bit the situation. But usually I'm sitting here, so I'm going to show you a little bit around. And it looks like really a little bit an old-fashioned situation in Vienna. So we have here on this side, there's a big chimney and sofas and all that. So of course there is some arts also you can see on the walls from older projects. Exactly. Then here, as you know, maybe from the exhibition in Krakow, there is the Harley Davidson, which can be rolled around the room. So it's on wheels, also, of course. And, also, this studio has a very nice kitchen. So if some people, some of you looked at the older projects, I'm doing a lot with cooking projects, cooking performances.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we are in this kitchen here. I hope it's not too fast, so they're not.
No, we are following. Kitchen with balcony, very nice.
Yes, and this kitchen also is good for our project tests. So it's good that we are in the kitchen. I have to do some more tea now. And so the unusual thing is that the whole thing is more like an office. Because as you know, Agnieszka, that most of my project, it makes no sense at all to do those inside the studio. Because first of all, most of the projects, I mean, the Harley Davidson you've seen recently, that fits more or less, but every time we move it in an exhibition, we have to dismantle it again. So basically, we are doing in this studio, of course, also parties. But mainly it's kind of a strategic room where we talk about how we do the projects. We do a lot of planning there, a lot of meetings, and most of the project parts happen on site and not in the studio. So
that's true. In your practice, I remember, because what connects us with Rainer is the experience of working on actually 2 exhibitions in Wrocław. We made this, let's say, ongoing exhibition. The first part of it was a bit more studio-like. Exactly.
Yeah, studio and workshop mix, I would say.
Studio and workshop, yeah. So we arranged a place where there were lots of sketches and ideas and, lots of possibilities of many pieces shown. So in first part, we have shown this, let's say, conceptual part, this part of the artistic process when the artists really, have the different ideas and they put them on paper and they discuss. So it was this first part where Rainer Prohaska and Przemysław Jasielski, they also work together, presented their initial ideas, and then in the second part of the exhibition, there were projects that were born out of these ideas. And it is, in your case, exactly like you say, that the planning and the conceptual approach takes a lot of time. And tea plays here an important role. I also have some, black tea. It's the second, the second bowl for today. I will need to cook the third one. So Rainer loves to drink tea and discuss, and make sketches, discuss. But then, indeed, the real work takes out on the site, takes place on the site, outside. So that is why also this planning part is so important. I remember, Madzia, that we were together at the meeting we had in Wrocław with Rainer and Przemo, where we could see the first sketches that Rainer did for Shiryokan. And they were the result of the study tour, because this is maybe also important to say that in case of those more complicated, complex projects, the artists had to go to Sapporo and just see what is out there, because this is basically the most important question when you have to realize an artwork somewhere. It's really the question, what do they have out there? How do they work? What is the situation on the place? So indeed, this connects us all. We have all been in Sapporo, and the artists were there for this planning phase.
I just wanted to ask you, Rainer, one question about the van, because maybe it's also something that might be interesting to share with the audience. It's also connected with your studio. It is your studio. So if you could briefly say how does it work, where comes from the idea, and how you use it in your daily artistic practice.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because, of course, as I got the information that we meet today, I have a second location, which is not a studio, but it's a small flat we have in the west of Austria, near the lakeside of Salzburg. And also there, I'm living quite often in the van, and I'm working quite often in the van, as I did yesterday. So I arrived last night from there because I wanted to broadcast from the van today morning. But the bad luck was that we had like always 0 degrees, 2 degrees in the morning the last days. So that would be okay for me, because I'm not very easily freezing. But we got a temperature crash this night. So today it's like -12. And that's why I decided last night to go back to Vienna, because in the small flat, there is nothing to see at the moment from my work, and it's not a typical situation. And I wanted to go to a nice place on the lakes and broadcast from the van, but -12 is even for me a little bit too much, or too less, let's say like that. But what you can see here is that most of my things I need, you see here, there is a printer, with a scanner and some old suitcases. They are not very big. And this is beside a small toolbox, which is downstairs at the moment. This is more or less my mobile studio, which I just put in the van, because the van has also a small kitchen where you can cook for 2 to 3 people. And of course, there's a big bed inside. The van is already downstairs, so I don't know how this software reacts when I go downstairs, because then I have switched to my mobile phone connection. So maybe it's a little bit too complicated, but I can could also show around in the van a little bit. It takes just 2 minutes. But the problem is the connection, because our wireless LAN is not working there.
Yeah, so we skipped the van visitation this time, but you can watch the artist's interview on the SIAF.jp website, and this interview Rainer shot from his mobile studio outside. That's a nice way to have at least a glimpse of this experience, mobile studio experience. But so this is the situation over there in Vienna. So as you see, Rainer has a perfect place for planning and cooking and making concepts and drinking tea and discussing, and then his basic equipment can be packed in 2 small suitcases, and he can be on the run or on the go very quickly, very easily when entering his mobile.
That's a good point, Agnieszka, because yesterday at 6 o'clock in the evening, I decided not to stay at the lakeside. And at 9 o'clock in the evening, I was back here. So it's like, and packing takes half an hour. So that's it.
Yeah, I really remember very nicely, all the picnic-like situations when Rainer, when we prepared the exhibition in Wrocław, and Rainer, just parked his van next to the entrance. And after the work, he took out some little chair and some table, and we had some Austrian wine, the
Yeah.
Grüner Veltliner, very nicely, after work next to his mobile studio and home. Very, very nice homey experience.
That's a nice remember.
Speaking about memories, maybe we can go to the memories connected with our visits in Sapporo. But I just wanted to point out just one more thing, or ask you, Rainer. Is there anything that you've packed in your suitcase to Sapporo while going there for the study trip? Is there anything that you really have to take with you when you go somewhere, and it's like the most important thing that makes you sure that your work will go like properly?
Yeah, I'll show you because I have it, of course, next to me.
Ratchets.
No, the ratchets is not a good. I mean, of course, it's the best example. But the ratchets, as you know, they are waiting usually on site, so they are kind of heavy. And normally, it depends on the situation. Like in Japan, we send them in advance, and I can show you later one. We have a nice picture series here from Krakow exhibition, which shows perfectly the big version of these ratchets. But more or less, the only tool I really need is to dismantle, because as you remember, Agnieszka, when you see the ratchet constructions, there's always a long belt which is hanging down, and it's too long, of course, because if it's too short, you can't use it, and it's never exactly the length you need. So what we do is we roll this end of these belts, and then we take a zip tie to connect it, because otherwise it looks like carnival, which I hate totally. And the only tool I need to do these projects is to then uncut the
zip ties.
Yeah, and so I need this one here to cut the zip ties. And now that's not a joke. This is very important, because usually these tools they have in the museums are totally crappy. And if you have a big construction and you have to uncut, like, let's say 300-400 of these zip ties, that's really a hard thing. And I have a bigger one like this one, which I had in Japan with me, which is a very good one. But this is even better because it's smaller, but it has the same quality of cutting strength as you need. And this one I bought in Japan, of course. So wow. That's my new follower, and it's always in my backpack, in my small one.
So there are some tools that the artists also brought from Japan to their studios.
Yeah, as we heard from Berlin recently, is that the hardware stores in Japan, they are really like fancy ones, and the quality of the tools there is great. So what I want to show you now, that all the audience can see, that these are the ratchets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the belt.
Rainer, may I ask you, how did you like the ratchets in Japan? Were they different than the ratchets you were used to from Vienna?
That's a very hard question, because we have sent our ratchets over there because of our first research told us that they were much more expensive. And the funny thing was that some of the supporters, some of our assistants, they checked out some ratchets which you can also order online there. And we found also cheap ones, but we never tried them. So of course, I think that the range of quality in Japan is bigger than here. That is what I found out. So you can buy, maybe the same quality would be a little bit more expensive than in Austria. I don't know.
Yeah, but Rainer needed lots of of ratchets to arrange a workshop. They built a temporary architecture, with the citizens of Sapporo. So they needed lots of these ratchets. So we wanted to be sure that we have the tools we need and so that the best solution was to send send them over from Europe. So sometimes it's tricky because the part of the artistic research is really to know what you can get on site and what you should pack in those 3 suitcases. And you have, of course, the limitations. So while packing, you have also to check the weight. And these are the tricky decisions the artists have to do. But well, now I think it's indeed time to start sharing our memories of Sapporo. We already made clear that we visited the city, all of us here for the purpose of working there. So our, let's say, studios were moved to Sapporo, and let's have a look at those memories. Would you like to share your screen, Kati and Niklas, because you prepared some? Well, all of us prepared some photo documentation. So let us have a look how it was in your
Niklas
case.
will open the photos.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how we should do this.
Share downstairs.
PDF. The PDF.
Share. And the PDF.
Just give me a while.
While Niklas is finding our photos, I wanted to add to this packing for trips that afterwards what you should have packed. For example, we had way too much. Like we could have, like if we would go again to Sapporo, we would know what to take with us. So often you learn when you visit what makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is something that you learn afterwards. This is the TV tower. Yeah,
this is how. Yeah,
I think everyone has a photo with the TV tower.
I've just learned that it would have been better to share, to have 2 screens, which we don't have now at the computer. So here we have. You want to talk?
Fine. I think we can see the pictures. So
yeah, we see the pictures. It's clear.
Okay.
Do you see the whole screen or the?
We see the Sapporo Tenjinyama Art Studio now being, presented by Niklas. We see this one photograph, very cool. Nicely presented. Yeah, that's.
Yes, this is indeed the Tenjinyama Art Studio entrance, where Niklas is standing, and we have some pictures of the snow festival, of course, which was amazing to see. Do you have a preference how we will?
I think we should show our cool apartment in the Tenjinyama.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a look.
So we had a really nice place where we could stay. The story of it is, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, Agnieszka, but it is an old hotel on the top of a hill that has been transformed by the city of Sapporo, I guess, to some sort of an
artist residency studio.
Artist residency place. So we had our own little apartment here going over 2 floors. Maisonette.
With the safe.
It was this super cool 80s place. They had these night desks there with full integrated technology. There was even, and I was quite fascinated by this. There was a little flashlight. A flashlight, and if you take it off, it automatically turns on. So in case of an emergency, if there is a blackout, you have right away a little. You have right away a little light. I found that quite cool.
Yeah. So this little
hotel, everywhere.
It's really beautiful place for a little bit outside of the city center, yet the city center is to be reached quite easily from Tenjinyama, and you are indeed on a yama, on a hill, on a Tenjin hill, and you are surrounded by this park. Okay, let's move.
Yeah, this was our area
Neighborhood.
here. This is when we were walking to the hardware store.
The hardware
store. A lot
store.
of yuki-kakis that we have seen everywhere.
The snow shovels,
and people who are, quite professional in removing snow.
Yeah, performing with them.
So we knew beforehand already that we'll be doing something with snow, because we spent about 1 month in doing a research residency. So we were observing a lot of snow practices, because they are also very unique in Sapporo.
That was actually my request when I invited you to be part of SIAF. I remember that I asked you to build some kind of a machine using snow. It should be outside, and then you arrived to Sapporo and there was actually not so much snow, because there were worries last year if there will be snow at all. But then finally in February, I guess, the snow came. So,
Yes. And we were focusing a lot on this snow equipment, because there was a very, very big selection of all kinds of, so the snow shovels, which are called yuki-kaki in Japanese. So, yuki is snow, so we were looking how they are actually used. We see them in hardware store, and then we walk around our neighborhood and we look how is it actually used. And it was really interesting, and it inspired our project eventually.
I think that the next photo is from the hardware store, I guess. Yeah,
this is actually from a second-hand shop. Was it called Ardoff or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's we love second-hand things, and we also collect a lot of things from the street. In Berlin, you find a lot of things, and neighbors bring us used things because they know we build things and take things apart. So although we love hardware store, we also really love old things, old technology, obsolete technology.
This is what Kati found here in this picture, actually, at the second-hand shop. My Anpanman.
Oh yeah, that's
100 yen.
100 yen. Yeah,
100 yen. But here we are at the hardware store.
Yeah,
so this is where you can see. This was actually the situation when we arrived.
That's even an artwork, I would say.
Yeah, it is already right.
Ready-made.
They have set up this sculpture there outside, which relates to snow, but there wasn't any snow.
This is the example.
That's why they have to do artwork. If they cannot use yuki-kaki for snow, then you can use it for art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was also, we have been checking all kinds of things at the hardware store. The massive screw collection here.
Now, I remember how fascinated you were, how fascinated you were about the hardware stores. I remember it really clearly. So it was one of the first impressions, of Sapporo, how great the hardware stores are. So, but as you see, there is really lots of specialized stuff in all these colors. It's very inspirational.
It looks for us, I think, very special. I could imagine that if you're Japanese and if you're used to this, that it doesn't look all that special. But for us, it looks very different. All the safety equipment, we just don't have it. We just don't have so much of that and in so many colors at our stores.
Mm-hmm. That's
I think
true.
The colorfulness is definitely one thing. This was really a part of our research to find material. So we have like hundreds of photos actually of all kinds of shells in hardware stores, because we were going back and forth with our ideas and then do this research and then walk around and then observe snow practices. And we made always notes and took a lot of photos. So we actually have really a lot. And we found also some funny things, like this is a snowball maker. So you can squeeze snow between those two scoops to get the perfect snowball, perfectly round snowball.
Not just a snowball, but really a perfect snowball. Yeah.
I must say, because I come from Finland originally, so we are used to winters, but we do not have this array of amazing snow gear and especially colorful things. So it is really at another level in Hokkaido. Here are some working pictures. I don't know if we need to go in detail.
We can check
maybe Niklas can tell.
Yeah. I just thought that this is maybe also interesting. So we had at the Tenjin-Yama Art Studio, we did not just have a place for living, but also a studio for working that was downstairs. So we had this big space there where we were then transforming all our hardware store materials.
Yeah, and I must say, once all the research in hardware stores was done, and after we set up all the logistics of transportation, and once all the stuff was there, Kati and Niklas really started to work very quickly, because then actually if we go for let's say 3 or 4 weeks to some place, it might sound, or it might seem that it is a long time, but not actually. It's not actually true, because it comes one point when you realize, okay, it's half of the place of the time, and I have to be quickly in this place. So I remember this, when you started to work in that space, it the installation really became visible with every day.
It was a very nice working space, actually. The room where we work at the Tenjin-Yama Art Studio, there was a lot of light and space, and we could reorganize the space really quickly. That's what we actually do here in our studio as well. So it is not a fixed space. We move a lot of things. Some of the tables and things are movable, and you can put them in another configuration and assemble them or disassemble things. So I think this kind of flexibility wherever the space is, as long as you have this certain basic tools and this kind of flexibility to rearrange things and find new material, I think this is excellent for realizing quickly ideas.
Mm-hmm. And so what about Anpanman?
that is actually my
is biggest, it like your
my biggest cultural revelation is this. I really learned something that I did not know before. I was totally I think, when you make these kind of travels, this is not just about working. This is obviously also about learning about the culture of the host country. And I think that culture is sometimes most funny when it's completely unexpected, like when you find it not at a cultural place, but let's say at a supermarket. And I have seen Anpanman, I have seen this guy everywhere at the supermarket, and I was not at all familiar with it. But I researched a bit, and it turned out that it is like it's basically the most successful cartoon figure worldwide. Wow. And his head is out of some sort of a bread. I think it's filled with plum or something like this. I don't want to say anything completely wrong here, but he can take bread out of his head and feed his friends with it.
How simple is that?
So super cool. So I also got this bag then and everything. I'm totally into the Anpanman swag.
Thank you for this revelation. I made a note. So this is, recorded.
Another funny thing is, if you're into hardware store stuff or technology and maybe also chemistry, the sweets in Japan, they are also so amazing. I have not seen anything like this somewhere else. So this is these are sweets with a litmus test. So you have to mix different powders and liquids together, and then it changes its color several times when
Wow.
Really, really interesting stuff.
Now you made me really want to go back to Sapporo.
Yes, anyway, we all want to go back.
I already recognize what things I was missing there, because I have no idea about this, but we come back to this problem later.
I mean, yeah.
And here is our
Neighborhood.
Our neighborhood, exactly.
Yeah. We had a dinner in this area, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically roughly our pictures here.
Okay, I would like thank you so much, Rainer. What do you have? Show us some.
First, I want to talk to continue with this nice pictures I've already seen now, and of course, that's I think that the idea to connect us with Berlin, Vienna at the moment is very nice, because of course we seem to be both hardware store lovers. What I used to do, and this is why I hate the hardware stores in Austria mostly, is because when I was, for example, in Russia or in China, the hardware stores have also a big furniture division. And for me, I have the problem when I go in a hardware store, sometimes people even in Austria ask me, may we help you somehow? And said, yeah, the problem is I need something, but I don't know if it exists there. So I go there and I need, because I used to connect different systems together. Yeah, and I never know what I will use for, let's say, a pillar for the feet or whatever. So it's hard to help, and it's also very hard because I spend a little bit too much time then, because I have to research more or less the whole store. So what I do, if there is a furniture division, I go inside, I make a research, like kind of randomly for 1-2 hours, and then I go to the buffet where they sell some food, I eat something, then I search for the furniture division and search for a bed and have a nap there for an hour. And then I go back to the rest of the store, and then I'm buying. And the bad thing in Austria is that the hardware stores there, they don't have any beds. So I always have to go there and go back home, have a sleep, or come back next day. And the problem we had in Sapporo, Przemo and me, we had like only 2 weeks. And I remember, I will never forget the situation when I arrive in Sapporo and I see the schedule for the first week, because like Asami kind of scheduled us for a workshop for 10 days a day in a very cold room. So I said, okay, if we do it like this, we have in the second week where we should work on our project, we have to take vacations because we will be so tired that there will be no work possible. Of course, Asami was super nice, so she changed it a little bit. But in the second week, we were busy with Shirioken. And I don't know if you have seen, everybody, this building where we should place our exhibition. I like it because it was really a challenge to deal with this building. It's very complicated. It's totally unusual for exhibitions. But in my case, and that was the reason why I decided to set up a kind of a installation which should be a fake office for an institution, which has then an educational part and all this, because it looks like an old office building in Austria. So it's totally remembering me that. But it took us very much time to deal with this building. I went there, I think, 3 times. And in the end, I haven't seen one hardware store. Now I come to the point in Japan, really, because even the one tool I showed you is from a shop near the main station. So it's not from a hardware store. And the only thing I remember which we visited was an onsen outside, and that was really kind of nice. When it starts snowing and we sit in the hot tubs, that was one of the best. It was after a hard night with Asami, where we had like dinner every day. So it was really cool.
Yeah, okay. I guess that you are the only one among us who visited a real onsen, like I mean the one the hot springs that have the division outside in natural surrounding. Yeah.
Oh, we also did it, but in during the vacation time, not during the visit in Hokkaido. But later, we also had a chance to try this natural places.
Yeah, there was. I don't know how we this guy. It's a Japanese. It's a friend of Asami and also a friend of Pshemo. I don't know where he used to know him, and I think he saw that we kind of like needed a day off, and he then brought us to an onsen a little bit outside of the city, and it was super nice.
Yeah, Norimichi Hirakawa, the artist. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but well, I'm curious about you know, what was your experience, Rainer, in collaborating and working with people of Sapporo, because you know, this part you didn't miss for sure. We missed, you know, we all missed this part of working together with the audience, but your research was, as you exactly told, paired with a workshop. So please tell us how it was. And you did those workshops, these kind of, you know, workshops where you collaborate with people in building those temporary spaces in quite a few countries worldwide. Oh, Rainer disappeared. Just
the question was too hard.
The question was too hard. Yeah. Oh my God. So Rainer has to.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The problem is I can't share the screen. I wanted to when
you can't share the screen. Do you see?
No, my browser says no. And I think it's the ad blocker. So what I did is I switched the ad blocker off, and then I switched myself off.
Okay.
Let me check if it is.
Yeah, we are also checking if we have any questions from the
No, he says. Maybe now it's working.
Maybe. We cannot see anything. What?
Check again.
Well.
So it's. I have already opened a photograph of our workshop.
We don't see the shared screen. We don't see the shared screen, but maybe
because our introduction guy showed us how to do it, and now it says there's the.
Maybe let's try again. Okay, we also have the information that there are at the moment.
So I had to confirm also after I clicked on share, I also had to say, okay, this is the window that I want to share. There was another window.
That I remember that he showed us, but there's nothing popping up like this. No.
So maybe meanwhile, I will share just one photo from Sapporo that for today. Can you see this this pumpkin hue?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so just referring to the character you introduced, Niklas, I also adore all those little characters appearing everywhere and doing really, really serious. And, you know, I really like to take a photo of these. But the one you can see now is, I guess it's Tapi. And this is kind of equipment that stands on the street, and he delivers the gravel that you can take out of this box, let's say, out of his body, and you can use the gravel to, you know, like throw it on the snow, not to be that slippery. So he's really serious about, you know, his it's an onion.
An onion.
An onion.
It's an onion.
Asami says it's an onion. Okay. Sorry, but is it Tapi? I would like to just to know if I remember well this person.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was something that really strongly like stayed in my mind. All those different equipments and stands with the gravel on the streets. So I really like all of these stands. So the one here is nice.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have the information that maybe we can get some help from Nishi-san to share the Reiner's screen, because it's a matter of the browser, and I also I tried to share my screen using the browser I use, and maybe I also will have some problems when sharing the screen.
It's strange because I found the setup for all these problems, and everywhere it says that it shares exactly. It has the same modus like my mic and my video, and it says also I can share.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Who is it?
Thank you, Nishi.
Are you? Yeah. So now I can start talking about it. So what we did first in the workshop is we tried to explain the participants how to use the ratchets. And for everybody who has used them daily, it sounds like a joke, because it's like it looks very easy, and basically it's not very complicated. But to use them proper, even when you build something which is a kind of a real architecture, that means that people can, as you can see here, step on it or use it, like when you will see later, as a chair or even a small tea house. That's a different thing, of course, because if you don't use them in a proper way, you might be falling down from the installation, or it collapses. And first, what we learned in the last years when we do workshops with this material is that we have to teach the people proper, which was in Japan a really nice experience, because I told them quite often during the workshop that I never had such talented participants, because I showed them 1 or 2 times and they really remembered it. They were really like, when they were on site, they were really looking at me, writing something down maybe a little bit, and remember this for the whole week. And that's why we were really successful with this workshop. So we built a lot of different things, like you see here, a rolling unit for this big lobby, whatever. And later on, we had time also to dismantle everything again, because maybe I have to explain this also for people who don't know this. As you said, Agnieszka, in the introduction, the system is called toy kit architecture, and the only 2 elements we are using there is wooden bars. They have all the same dimension, which is very interesting for me, how to deal with special situation when you're not allowed to cut them in half, for example. You have, for a longer distance purpose, you have longer. All they have 1 meter and 7 to 4 centimeters in the how you call Querschnitt, Agnieszka?
Querschnitt. Well.
So it's 1 meter and 7 to 4 centimeters.
One of the dimensions.
Yes. And the second tool you need are the ratchets, and of course then the zip ties to avoid the harlequin and carnival look. And then, of course, you can dismantle it, do something else. First, we built this kind of stairs sitting situation just for a test. Maybe we can see, I don't know, Agnieszka, you are moderating this.
No, this is Nishi-san, but he's
maybe there are some pictures of a special chair, maybe a little bit later, or we only have these pictures, I guess. Now in the third picture coming from the left, you can see, that's a good one. Thank you for this one. In the second part of the workshop, we've been asking, because Pshembo, you can see him on the right side of this picture standing next to me. He's always working with cupboard elements, and he made this triangle squared pillars.
Yeah, pillars. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end of the workshop, because he's referring with his triangle elements to the triangles on the floor, you can see them quite nice here in the photograph.
In the town hall. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are trying to merge our two systems. So I was extending kind of the toy kit architecture toy kit with a third element, and this is these triangle pillars, and we use them for the pillars to building a tea house. So we first used only these bars from Przemo, and later, I don't know if we have a little bit. Yeah, you can see this collection. And here you also can see how we start using them and merging our two systems. And also what you can see in the right picture of these small ones, it should be big enough. This is very interesting because first you can see this chair which belongs to the tea house. And this chair, for me, was the biggest surprise of the whole workshop because it kind of looks simple and obvious that you do it like this, but nobody ever in the last 15 years we are working with these ideas made a chair like this. So this is a perfect example how talented and how these people understood my idea, and they even extended it with a totally new thing.
That's fascinating, really.
It was so cool because I love this chair and we never had it like this. Even I did not come up with such an idea. And this is exactly how it should be. And then, here you can see then we also started to use the tea house.
I see some Turkish black tea.
Yeah.
The one you like.
That's the closest tea farmer situation to Austria. It's on the Black Sea, because the Turkish they make their own tea. There's a lot of people don't know that, and
very nice. So as far as I remember, you worked with changing group of people. That was a kind of challenge because there was still a nice crowd, people participating, working with you, but they kept coming and going. So I guess also kind of special situation, right?
That is exactly what I was telling in the beginning, because with a usual situation, when we have people, you teach them and then they go away and new people come, you again have to teach them. But it goes so quick how they learned to use this system that it was not a big problem. I was expecting much more troubles, and I thought we will stay like more or less on the same level the whole, I think it was like 5 days or 6 days working on these constructions, but we could really continue with something because the people were so interested and so really looking serious at the thing and remembering also that how to handle this situation.
I should add that the furniture, these ephemeral objects you created during this workshop, we used them in Sapporo during several other events. So they were, even if they were made out of in case of Przemo, paper or cardboard, which seems not to be the perfect material for furniture. And in your case, it was like really temporary construction. But after you left, the SIAF team could assemble the objects again in another place. So we used those objects and furniture for quite a few events afterwards, and it also proves
super nice. I was super happy with that. That the workshop continues without me. That was in the end the point.
Exactly. So all the pieces were assembled and disassembled and reassembled, and I think it means that you have introduced a certain technique and a craft, craft to Sapporo, and well, and really fascinating thing is that, if an artist says, okay, this kind of chair was never created in the last 15 years, even if you heard that Rainer uses, very limited, very simple materials that you even are not allowed to modify. If you have those wooden bars, you just take them and you have, ratchets and the bars. So that's all. Yeah. But as you see, there might be some nice surprise when working with people.
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny because when you talk about the time after the workshop, when I was back in Austria and there was still something going on, this is the perfect bridge, because at that time we didn't know that we might come in the situation that we would have worked remotely. What was in the beginning, like last spring, our discussion that maybe there will be some exhibition, but we are not allowed to go there. So I could, after this situation and the experience there, I could totally imagine that we are not going there in person, but teaching the people via online tools how to use it and then create something through the web and through a live situation like we have right now exactly. And then look what they continue to do. So
yeah. So you were quite confident, about what can be done in this remote way, but it was possible exactly due to the to the study visit to before and due to having this experience of working together with the people. So so this is I'm stressing this out because especially now we are deprived, we cannot meet in person, but this is a very important element in the art creation, that the artists not only go to those places to see the space, right, the venue where they have to set up their work, but really they need to have this direct cultural experience, and they need to work with people on some practical things, be it creating a tea house or I don't know, arranging also the hardware shop, delivery, with the team of producers. So this direct work experience, I guess this is something really, really important for for all the artistic processes. And this is exactly, I guess, what is this very vulnerable, part of the art making that is so that we are deprived of right now with the travel restrictions and so this confidence that you can do some things remotely, it stems from this direct experience. Well, we have like 13 minutes more to go. We see comments that the audience enjoys our talk. This is what the studio operators say to us. Well, we also prepared some photos, Magda-san. We could maybe share them. I don't know. We also have some memories from Sapporo. Of course, our work experience there is was more related to having really long meetings. Of course the inspecting the venues was also important part of that, but long meetings and and some meals between them and after them. Oh, Nishi-san started. Thank you, Nishi. Yeah, this is my photos. This is the famous soup curry, a speciality in Sapporo, kind of curry, but eaten as a soup. We can just go, over. This is a pretty wild selection of photos. You will see some snow and some food over there. Yeah, some elements,
characters,
some characters.
Yeah. The one that I like very much, which is like a Terebito-san, which is a character connected to the TV tower.
So this is Mr. TV.
I became a big fan of this one, and he has a family, in fact, like kind of wife and children, so it's a big concept.
Yeah, Terabito, if we go to another picture, I thought this is somehow connected to, with this sculpture. This is how it looks looked like when we went back home from the office, from the after the work. Yeah, fresh snow, and this is in fact 1 year ago. Yeah, inspecting venues like here at Marinuma Park. This is part of our work. Sometimes we were looking for some, hidden infrastructure of the building the artists needed to know. So here is just an example of how on our side the work was. Yeah, here we open a very special place. We look like the space travelers a little bit, like the gate opens of a space shuttle. This is the view outside,
and the alien is already waiting outside.
exactly and this is the view inside. So this is the famous snow storage at Marinuma Park, where they keep their snow from March till October. So this room is full of snow. And this melting snow keeps on, it's connected with the ventilation system, and so it keeps the building, the whole building, cool in the summer time.
So
and while we were there in summertime, we couldn't go into the bunker because it was full of snow. So we could only see, through the small window that, in fact, there is like a really low temperature.
A natural air condition system.
Yeah, this is for air condition, so it's really, really smart. So we can go further. This is another working scene from with Kati and Niklas. Actually, everyone is looking at some other place. But also, there were some office hours long meetings, and here Taro Amano and Kanoko Tamura, the two directors. And in the evening, we had some food. So food is just gorgeous. I mean, food is just gorgeous. So Asami and Maja just, they take three more. They take 3 more. Give us 3
this
more.
Is about beer here. This is not about food.
We also went to Mount Moiwa, one of the mountains surrounding Sapporo, and what I found out there is the people photograph themselves on the top of the mountain. So this is going up there, so you see a beautiful, really nice landscape, like this connection between snow and the city. Well, this is some weird stuff I found in a shop. This reminded me of the third era of the Australian artist Stellark, but not placed on his forearm, but in a shop. And this is how the people of Sapporo leave their cars when they go to sleep. This is approximately so much snow, coming in during the night time. Okay, these were my photos. Maja, maybe you have also some more memories to share. You made also a nice selection. We've been all to the same places, more or less, but the photos are different.
Yes, I will just try to open the... I'm not sure if I can manage with this.
That's quite demanding. It seems so obvious and so easy during the introduction how to work with this.
Can you see that?
No. But then, okay, Nishi.
Okay. No, it's probably me who's operating it, or it's Nishi. It's me. I don't know.
We see the dispensers for the gravel and sand.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. And actually, the first picture you can see now is the very first picture I did in Sapporo. So it's not any landscape or any food or anything like this, but the first photo I took was the equipment for the gravel that was standing on the street. And I really adore this illustration of the girl on the side wall. So you can see a girl like throwing out the gravel on the street. And I really like the idea that people are doing it on their own. In fact, that everybody are somehow in this process of taking care of the streets in the winter time, because in Poland we have really stupid custom, let's say, to throw out salt on the streets. So it's really bad for shoes and really bad for animals.
Nature.
And nature, of course, but it's really annoying system. And here it's in Sapporo, it was like really easy that it's on the street and anyone can join the process of taking care of winter. So I really like the fact. Even in the town hall, they had bottles, like, let's say
old plastic bottles.
Which were full with gravel, and you could actually take one with you as well. And tapi you already know, so it's an onion, remember. And this research about snow was like really something also strongly influencing our time in Sapporo, even in the summertime. So these pictures were made during the summer study trip, but still like focusing on winter. And the one on the left is the painting by Kansai Homma from the Hokkaido Museum of Modern Art. It's the title is Winter in Sapporo, and the second picture you can see is probably JR Station, but these are the tiles that are on the floor. So I really like this geometrical shape, and also like the fact that this winter shape appears in architecture. And of course the snow festival that we were enjoying, and like seeing the really beautiful and crazy sculpture, but also there were like small mouses like this, and it was funny because these huge sculptures were so super beautiful, and there were also some small not really perfect
less beautiful
this is the photo from the town hall that we've also seen on the pictures from the Reiners and Przemos workshop. But we also like the scenery for making pictures, and it says down on the floor, snow Hokkaido. Mm-hmm. So really like funny to have that kind of scenery for pictures. And the last but not least is the things that keeps you warm in the winter time. So what I really like was the hot drinks that you can buy everywhere. It's not like a takeaway coffee, but we have refrigerators with cold drinks, but in Sapporo, you can find out also warm drinks in bottles. So I really like this milk and cacao drink that I was having every day. And also the special warming up elements that you can pads that you can take wherever you want and put it into your shoes or stick it to your clothes so they are warming you up. And that was great when SIAF team introduced me this, and I still have some here in Poland, and actually the temperature now is quite low. Yeah, so I'm using it when I go for a longer walk or something like this. This is something that connects me now with Sapporo a bit. Yeah.
Thank you, Magda, for sharing these memories. Thank you all. We in fact we just are running out of time. 1 minute is left, and it's also not so dark anymore outside. So maybe maybe it's a good reason to start this day after having. It's a very nice talk. Thanks a lot. I hope you also the audience enjoyed our casual early morning meeting. Well, I did, and thank you all for being with us. Thank you for the contributions, and I'll give the word to the studio in Sapporo. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very
much.
much.